India is greatly establishing itself as the Switzerland of Asia by using its distinct geopolitical position to establish strategic independence and armed neutrality. With a population of over 1 billion people and one of the world's fastest-growing economies, India has a number of advantages over Switzerland due to its size and resources. India seeks to raise the cost of an enemy contemplating aggression by promoting alliances while remaining neutral. With a diplomatic, well-balanced approach, this strategy not only helps defeat its two main regional enemies, China and Pakistan, but also strengthens its position as a worldwide force. India's dedication to establishing global alliances while maintaining its neutrality is demonstrated by its involvement in the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad. The Quad, which was formed in 2007 and consists of the United States, Japan, Australia, and India, acts as a platform to protect national interests in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Global trade depends on these waterways, and China's expansionist policies in the area, including the construction of artificial islands, have been openly opposed by the Quad. In order to preserve its independence and prevent needless provocations from China, India has been cautious to present the Quad as an open, positive platform for collaboration rather than a military alliance. Simultaneously, India has strengthened its ties with the U.S., especially in the fight against Chinese influence. Through strategic agreements like BECA, or Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement for Geospatial Cooperation, and LEMOA, Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, the United States tried to strengthen ties with India under President Donald Trump by enabling the sharing of military sites and facilitating the flow of strategic information. These accords strengthen India's military capabilities and solidify its standing as a vital Indo-Pacific ally of the U.S. This collaboration gives India access to state-of-the-art intelligence and technology without sacrificing its larger autonomy objective. India's balancing effort is further complicated by its connection with Russia. India and Russia signed a white paper in 2021 with the intention of coordinating their Asian plans to challenge Chinese and American domination. In order to maximize nations' strategic autonomy, this manifesto promotes a new non-aligned movement. India's reputation as a mediator who can heal divisions is strengthened by its alliance with Russia, which enables it to work with China's ally without upsetting its Western allies. Furthermore, this collaboration closely relates China's Belt and Road Initiative, positioning India as a strong alternative to Beijing's aspirations. India's commitment to preserving a neutral but significant role in world geopolitics is reflected in its expanding network of partnership. India is setting the stage to become a stabilizing influence in a world growing more divided by interacting with big countries like the US, Russia, and the EU without being too dependent on any one bloc like Switzerland. India aims to maintain its independence and strategic goals while trying to be a friend to everyone. Together with its economic and military prowess, India's nuanced diplomacy puts it in a position to reinterpret the idea of neutrality globally. India has established itself as a major actor in the BRICS geopolitical bloc, which is made up of China, South Africa, Russia, India, and Brazil since 2009. The G7, which consists of the richest countries in the world, is challenged by BRICS, which represent a sizable share of the world's population and economy. By joining this bloc, India is able to have an impact on important international decisions without being dominated by organizations run by the West. India also wants to establish itself as a diplomatic link between China, Russia, the West, and the rest of the globe. This goal demonstrates India's approach to using its geopolitical importance to further its economic development and diplomatic influence. Despite sporadic conflicts like the 2017 stalemate with China over the Kashmir border, India has continued to have regular discussions with its neighboring opponent, focusing on shared interest and agreements. This illustrates India's dedication to serving as an international mediator, not only with smaller countries, but also with superpowers like the United States, Russia, and China. India's 2014 Act East policy, which improved ties with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations to a strategic partnership, is an illustration of this approach. Because it controls important maritime trade routes such as the Strait of Malacca, ASEAN, an Indo-Pacific group of 10 nations, is a crucial player for India. India works with ASEAN for two reasons: to strengthen ties with this important economic center and to oppose China's expanding influence in the Indian Ocean. Furthermore, India has a distinct advantage due to its large diaspora of 18 million people worldwide. These foreigners act as cultural and economic linkages to other countries in addition to sending money home to support India's economy. India's diplomatic relations are strengthened by its worldwide presence, which also increases its influence in a variety of geographical areas. There are two ways to conceptualize neutrality. The first is using force to declare one's independence, as is the case in nations nations like North Korea and, to a lesser extent, China. The second method, which is similar to Switzerland's, depends on keeping cordial contacts with all parties. India's neutral position, which aims to be a flexible and realistic democracy in Asia, is more in line with the latter framework. India's geographical position further supports its strategy of neutrality. Nestled at the center of the Indian Ocean, the country is strategically located near the Arabian Peninsula, Eastern Africa, and Southeast Asia. India has both advantages and disadvantages due to its advantageous position. Two of its main geopolitical enemies, China and Pakistan, share the nation's lengthy and disputed boundaries. These borders serve as vital gateways to Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East. Tensions between India, China, and Pakistan have been centered on the conflict-prone Himalayan region of Kashmir for many years. In addition to its geographic importance, the area is significant because it serves as a gateway to important resources and commercial routes. India has strengthened its military capabilities and sought diplomatic solutions in spite of these concerns. For example, in order to monitor and regulate access to the Strait of Malacca, it has put nuclear-capable submarine stations strategically close to Bangladesh. This action strengthens India's position as a neutral but armed force and demonstrates its readiness to fend off any Chinese aggression. India is now a major actor in world geopolitics thanks to its advantageous location, economic potential, and diplomatic initiative. Its capacity to preserve relationships with a wide range of partners in spite of their divergent interest highlights its developing status as an impartial but significant force. India's emphasis on strengthening international relations, utilizing its diaspora, and protecting vital economic routes guarantees its continuous rise on the international scene. India's armed neutrality and practical diplomacy will be essential in negotiating the complexity of contemporary geopolitics as it strives to become a mediator in international disputes, much like Switzerland. India is well on its way to become a bridge between the most powerful countries in the world while maintaining its independence and sovereignty thanks to its distinctive approach to neutrality. India has emerged as a neutral but significant player in world affairs, making it a possible Switzerland of Asia. Through balanced alliances, armed neutrality, and strategic diplomacy, India maintains her independence while bridging gaps between world powers. Its expanding alliances, robust economy, and strategic location reinforce its position as a unifying factor in a world that is becoming more and more divided. India is forging its own route in international diplomacy as it persists in mediating, innovating, and leading. Watch as India changes the world order and redefines neutrality.